Greetings, and gratitude. Greetings and gratitude. If you came across this video, it was not by chance, it was destiny. Today, we are talking about spirit, mind, and body. We're all gods, we're all extensions of gods. Today, we are here to tap into a higher spiritual awakening. I'm here to share with you the reality that most will never stumble up onto in this lifetime. But it's a true reality, a spiritual awakening reality. Some are chosen, and some are just drifting through life. It all comes to a point of us coming to a crossroad in life to where we're met with certain challenges of our emotions, our purpose, and we're constantly being challenged on that battlefield of identification. It's been a long time coming to most to arrive at a place to where they're forced to question everything that they were taught. Everything that they were taught as a child, everything they were taught, I would say from infant stage, the infant stage of a baby all the way up until 7 years old. Everything that we know, believe, and do, it was poured into us. It was poured into us by those ones who are in our lives, our parents, um, our loved ones, our family. From a baby all the way up until the age of 7 years old, everything that they know and everything that they knew, they poured it into you, as well as my parents poured it into me. So if they were standing on beliefs that surrounded religion, they poured that into you. If they were standing on certain values of life and how they perceive life, they poured that into you. Um, it's really not about directly right or wrong directly. It's mainly about truth. And that's what I want to build on today. Your true core self. Your true core self is the part of each individual that is on the inside of us, our body, because it goes from spirit, mind, then body. Spirit, mind, then body. There's no getting away from that. So, whether it be your parents, your older brothers, sisters, grandparents, whoever raised you, they raised you from a standpoint of their viewpoint on religion, their viewpoint on their thoughts when it came to religion and spirituality. Now, as we grow older in adulthood and we live in this world and we're able to absorb things and deal with certain challenges, we create our own perception of life versus what was taught to us. Now, most people will carry everything that was taught to them and make it their own. And they live up under that same ideology of thoughts, religion, perspective. Everything that was taught to them, that's what they live and die by. Whether it was right, wrong, or indifferent, that's what they were taught. Now, am I the one to say that's wrong? No. But am I the one to say it comes to a certain point to where you have to figure out your own true identity of yourself? You create your own mindset, your own perception of life. Once you go through life and you deal with the ups, the downs, the indifferences, you're able to identify what works for you and what doesn't work with you, what feels good to your spirit and what doesn't connect with your spirit. Then it allows you to now question certain things that maybe you were taught, things that maybe your parents taught you, things that maybe your family taught you. Um, there's things that's going on in life and different challenges that you have dealt with that may make you question things that you were taught. It may have you have a second look at the perception that you have versus what you were taught. Um, Religion is man made. When you go to a church, anything that's connected to the building, the actual structure of church is man made. Religion is man made. So going back to looking at what you were taught as a child, all the way up until 7, you may carry that all the way up until you're adult, all the way up to church, going to church every Sunday, sometimes twice a day, both services, morning services and evening services, because you're so ingrained into those teachings, you're so locked into everything that was taught to you that's man-made. It's almost to a point to where if that's all you know, that's all you know. That's how you move. That's how you operate. Up until the point to where you're experiencing life and something in life will make you question certain things that you were taught as a child. It will make you even question certain things that you believe in or you used to believe in because it doesn't resonate with your spirit as an adult. It doesn't resonate with your perception. So now you begin to question things that doesn't connect with you spiritually, and you begin to question things that you're seeing in this world. They just don't connect. So now it puts you in a space to where you have to do a self inventory, an inventory of self. And once you do an inventory of self, you start on the inside. Because on the inside is where you are. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. The same spirit that I'm referring to is when you close your eyes and you hear the voice in your head speak. Or even when you pray, that voice in your head, that spirit, that's your true core self. The physical part of you, from the infant baby coming into this world, you was given a name to identify who you are. From a physical standpoint, you are attached to that name because that name identifies you, the name that your parents gave you. But in reality, in true reality, you were already existing. You were already a living spirit that occupies the body, that occupies the physical flesh part of you. Let's remove the name that your parents gave you. Could you identify who you are? Could you identify you as a spiritual being? See, the reality of you and the reality of me is we're spirit first, mind second, body third. Because it goes from spirit to thought. So you have a subconscious and a conscious. So your conscious thoughts is how you think. Your subconscious is based on what your perception is of how you think. So this is identifying your true core self that goes way beyond religion, that goes way beyond what was taught to you from another individual or a man or anything that was man created. Now, this is a spiritual awakening journey that you would, or those who are seekers of self, those who are questioning the world outside of them because they are now aware of the world that's inside of them. So once you are aware of the world inside of you, that's your spiritual awakening. You're now waking up outside of just the physical version of yourself. And when you wake up outside the physical version of yourself, that's when your rebirth starts. Your rebirth is waking up spiritually and identifying that you are a spiritual being here on earth having a human experience. Just how, like, when you're born and you come out your mother's womb, a spirit ascends down to you and occupies that infant physical version with the first breath it takes. That's the reason why when you're born and you come out your mother's womb, the doctor has to hear the baby breathing or the baby crying, because now that's identifying life. That's identifying that it's now a spirit inside this body, this infant body. And once you are activated through your first breath and your first crying out is identifying, now there is a connection between spirit and body. That's the true reality. That's your true core self. Is that spirit ascending down and occupying that infant body. And from that infant body all the way up until 7, you are now being poured into. You're now learning everything that's on the outside world because you're still at an infant state on the inside. Everything is taught to us. Everything that we know is taught to us from that phase of being an infant. So now you have to realize and identify. Sometimes we have to go back to understand so we can understand. We have to go back so we can understand so we can understand the process. And the process is spirit, mind, body, conscious, subconscious. It's a part of the spiritual awakening of self that goes way beyond the physical part of you, that goes way beyond your physical body. So now you have to be in a place to where you're forced to go inward. You're forced to go inward to investigate. The true core self of yourself is spirit, is a non-physical being. We are all non-physical beings first. So, and for those who subscribe to religion, Christianity, Proverbs 5:21, the eyes of the Lord are upon us. He watches all our ways and what we do. That's only saying that we are all gods. We are all extensions of God, spirit-wise. We are only made in God's image spiritually. All knowing, all seeing. God is everywhere. That's because God is in us. We are an extension of God through spirit. And once you identify that, your journey starts. Once you identify that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, that's when your journey starts of being awakened. Because now you have to unlearn what was taught to you from an infant to 7 years old and up. You have to unlearn that. And you have to relearn who you are on the inside. You have to identify self. You have to identify the person that's inside this physical body. Because if you close your eyes and you count to 5 without moving your lips, you can hear yourself count to 5. That's spirit. That's a whole nother world that's inside you. And once you identify that world, you get to know and learn that world, that internal world. That's where prayer happens. That's where meditation happens. That's when you're able to not only learn yourself spiritually, but that's when you're able to identify your spiritual powers. See, the flesh, the body and the flesh, it comes with limits. limitations comes with the human body. But with spirit, you're limitless. You're limitless. So when you identify the realities of who you really are, your true core self, that's the new journey. That's the new rebirth. And to be able to unlearn and relearn self, that's when you start to embark on a whole new journey, a whole new understanding. That's when you are able to get closer to God because God is spirit. So we are all gods and goddesses. It's because we all have spiritual beings inside this physical body. So there's those who will accept that understanding and start the rebirthing process, start the awakening process. And then there's those ones who are not ready for that. They're so locked into the physical world. They're so locked into the physical body. They cannot see beyond anything that's physical. They can only operate off of the two physical eyes and can only see what the two physical eyes can see. That's called being trapped in this third dimension reality. That's called being trapped in this physical world. But only knowing that the physical body, we're only here temporarily. Is this an experience? We're having a human experience in this physical world. And then we leave. Where do you go? When you leave this physical body here, where do you go? Those people who subscribe to religion, they will have debates on, well, you haven't died. How do you know? Or no one knows. Well, that's the difference. It's because when you unlearn what you were taught and you relearn your true spiritual core self, then you can identify that this is just one dimension amongst many dimensions. Once you leave this physical body, you are now moving to a different dimension spiritually. The spirit never dies. We are all indestructible, eternal, infinite beings. The spirit never dies. God never dies. Thank you for allowing me to share this spiritual awakening experience with you. Please continue to follow. And if you would like to learn more, please visit truecoreself.com to get even more enlightenment and understanding of your true core self. Religion is man-made, churches is man-made. So let's remove any and everything that's man-made. What else do you have? What else is there? Your non-physical reality. I'm your spiritual life coach, Sean Lewis. It was an honor. It was an honor to share this universal wisdom with you. Until the next time, greetings and gratitude.